The Madlanga Commission has wrapped up day 2 of its public hearings, with KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi still leading explosive testimony. Let's reflect on today's proceedings with crime expert Chris de Kock. Chris, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and indeed an explosive afternoon on day 2 once again, just showing those cracks, and also, as Mkhwanazi is saying, the general himself, painting the picture of this political interference that he spoke of. What were some of your reflections from today's testimony?
Well, I've looked yesterday and today to your station the whole day. Don't move away from the TV. And I must say, yesterday I thought by the end of the day, it was what was said during his press conference in July. But today a lot of things were added. And he is really giving the broad strokes of a picture, which we all want to see, say, in 90 days or 120 days from today. Look, I mean, this is the broad strokes from the perspective of General Mkhwanazi, and based on his knowledge and evidence that he have. It still have to be corroborated. It's still people that he mentioned will also have to go to the commission and give evidence that may change the picture in a sense, but I think we are actually a little bit shocked at the end of day 2 to see the influence of organized crime within the police and other law enforcement agencies.
Yeah, and as you're mentioning, you know, it's still, of course, early days as well. It is early days, but the picture that's being painted is quite shocking indeed. And a lot of the time when the general was speaking, he kept saying that, look, this will be corroborated by either my colleagues or other people that I presume the commission will also call to also come and testify, because they would be the ones who would be privy to that information. But he speaks with a certain level of conviction when it comes to some of these allegations that he's making. And I want us to just kind of unpack some of them as well when we're speaking about law enforcement in particular. And he had a section, as you know, we've been glued to the screen as well, watching his testimonials, that law enforcement section, where he basically alleges that alleged criminals such as Mr. Vusmuzi Cat Madlala, who is also facing charges right now and behind bars, had a lot of influence, undue influence it seems, and text communication going back and forth with certain businessmen. What did you make about his text communication, the allegations of text communications with a Northwest businessman, with a certain Mr. Van Wyk, Mr. Suleiman, Karim as well? And in these messages, he basically, you know, mentions things like, oh, here's a bad article about this national commissioner being arrested or investigated. That means now my guy is coming in.
Yeah, well, that is actually very, very shocking. And, you know, I worked with many years ago. I mean, it's about 12 years ago. I worked for a short while under General Mkhwanazi when he had to take over that time crime intelligence. He was the acting national commissioner then. And when the news broke in July, that Sunday afternoon, many media houses called me, and I say, no, I know this man, I think he's speaking the truth. Now that will have to be tested. But my view is, if you see his confidence, the way that he answered the evidence leader, his answers indicate to me that he knows what he's talking about. He have his facts in a row. And we will just have to see if that is going to be corroborated. But it is shocking that somebody in the underworld, in the criminal underworld, can tell a businessman that, don't worry, you might think this is bad news, that the National Commission is going to be arrested, but I have my man is waiting for this post. I mean, this is something that you see on American television, or not on American television, that you see on Hollywood movies, where movies about the Godfather movies, the mafia movies, where they have influence right in the middle of the police, and the police can actually do nothing to some of these criminals. It's amazing, and it's not something new. I mean, a few years ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago, a report was released by an organization called Global Initiative Against Organized Crime. And in that report, and I participated in that report a little bit, I mean, a picture is painted of the extent and the influence of organized crime in South Africa. I think it have grown tremendously in the past 5, 6, 7, even to 10 years.
I mean, yeah, what we are hearing does sound like a Hollywood movie indeed. Chris de Kock, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That, of course, was a crime expert, Chris de Kock, as we just reflect on the proceedings that came out of day 2 of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.